What if the toughest market in a decade was actually the best thing that ever happened to your real estate career? Okay, stay with me because what I'm about to share is happening right now in real time, and most realtors are completely missing it. So let's start with what's actually going on in the GTA right now, because it's important to understand the full picture before we talk about the opportunity. Appraisal values across the Greater Toronto Area have been falling, and that's creating a real problem for homeowners who are coming up for mortgage renewal. And here's why. When you want to refinance a mortgage, lenders will only lend you up to 80% of your property's currently appraised value, 75% actually in most cases. And that means if your home is worth less than it was 2 or 3 years ago, which is the case for a lot of GTA homeowners right now, you may not be able to borrow enough to pay out your existing mortgage, consolidate debt, or move to a new lender for a better rate. Mortgage expert Victor Tran put it perfectly. He said these homeowners are, and I'm quoting here, pretty much at the mercy of the current lender. No bargaining power, no options, just whatever terms the banks decide to offer. Benchmark prices are down in the GTA 6.7% year over year as of May 2026. That's according to Trev. And that's not a rounding error. That's a meaningful shift that's affecting real families, real clients right now. And here's where it gets even more significant. Because of these renewal pressures, rising debt loads, and the difficulty some homeowners are having just keeping up with their payments, power of sale activity across the GTA has hit a 2-year high. For anyone not familiar, power of sale happens when a borrower defaults on their mortgage and the lender takes control of the property to sell it and recover the outstanding debt. And right now, the numbers are striking. Power of sale listings in the GTA rose 59% year over year. Annual new distressed listings more than doubled from 2023 to 2024. And we're seeing power of sale inventory showing up in Toronto, Durham, Peel, York Region, Halton, and Hamilton. Now, here's the important nuance, and this matters if you have clients who are borrowers or investors. Lenders in Ontario legally are required to sell for fair market value. So we're not talking about pennies on the dollar. But in a market where prices are already down year over year and where motivated lenders need to move properties efficiently, there are genuine buying opportunities, especially in the condo sector, which has taken the hardest hit. For end users looking for their first home, for investors looking to build or expand a portfolio, this is a window that doesn't stay open forever. So let's flip the lens, because everything I just described, that's not just a challenge for homeowners, that's an opportunity for you. And think about what these homeowners actually need right now. They need someone who can look at their situation, their equity position, their renewal options, their mortgage structure, and help them understand what their choices are. Not just, here's what your home is worth, but here's what this means for your financial future. And here's what you could be doing right now. And that's not a typical listing conversation. That's a wealth advisor conversation. And here's the stat that should stop you in your tracks. 94% of homeowners are not actively buying or selling at any given moment. 94%. But every single one of them owns real estate, which means every single one of them is already an investor, technically, whether they know it or not. The realtor who shows up with financial literacy, who understands leveraging, amortization strategy, equity positioning, power of sales acquisitions, becomes indispensable to those clients. Not just for today's conversation, but for every transaction and referral that follows for years. That's not a transaction, that's a practice. And here's the honest truth, and I say this with respect because I've spent decades in this industry. Most realtors were never taught this stuff. Realtors were taught to list, to sell, to negotiate offers, taught about staging and open houses and market comparisons. But financial literacy, how real estate intersects with wealth building, how to talk to a client about leverage or equity repositioning, or what power of sale acquisition could mean for their long-term net worth, that is not standard real estate curriculum. That knowledge gap is costing realtors clients every single day. Clients who went elsewhere, to a financial advisor, to a mortgage broker, to another agent who seemed to understand their situation better. Bill Miller, a Century 21 broker, said something that I think about all the time. He said, if this training was available back in the day, I'd be worth $100 million more than I am today. $100 million gap because of financial literacy or lack of it. That's not an abstract number. That's the difference between a good career and a generational one. The realtors who will dominate the next decade won't just be good at buying and selling homes. They'll be trusted advisors. They'll be the person their clients call when they get a renewal notice, not just when they're ready to list. They'll be the person who gets a call when a power of sale shows up in a neighborhood that their investor client's been watching. They'll be the person whose name gets referred, not because they had the best sign on a lawn, but because they changed how a client thought about their financial future. And that shift from transactional agent to trusted wealth advisor is exactly what the real estate investment specialist designation is built around. The Real Estate Investment Institute created the Real Estate Investment Specialist program specifically to give realtors the financial literacy, the language, and the frameworks to have these conversations with confidence, to understand how investors think, to understand how real estate builds wealth, and to be the professional who guides clients through that process. Markets like this one don't last forever. Eventually, GTA values will stabilize. The power of sale surge will slow. The renewal wave will pass. And when it does, the realtors who use this period to deepen their knowledge and expand what they offer, they're going to be in completely different positions than everyone who just waited it out. The opportunity is in the market right now. The question is whether you're equipped to see it and whether your clients have someone in their corner who can help them navigate it. If you want to learn more about the Real Estate Investment Specialist designation and what it looks like to build that kind of practice, head to www.rei.institute. And if this video gave you something to think about, like it, share it with a colleague who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you in the next one.